It looks very small from here. I did this intro about 3 months ago. It's now January and I did it in probably November, and it's just been put on the back burner. It's been dark, it's been bleh, and there's been other issues which you probably know about. About 3 months ago, at the end of October, start of November, I put a video up where I made a very small, Baba Yaga's house. It ended up being, well, you can see it's up there, it's never come down, it's huge. I think somebody could actually live in it for real. It was meant to be like this big and ended up being this big. But as I was making it, I wanted a figure to stand next to it. So that was kind of an idea of how big it was supposed to be. So I bought this and was like, It did turn up to be a lot smaller. I thought it was going to be a 17mm and it was a 28. It was kind of deceptive. You get what you pay for. But I had it. But then I bought another one, thinking the same idea, and a third. Because in doing all of the research for the Baba Yaga hut, I sort of read up on the lore and the history of her and found out that there's kind of like 3 versions of Baba Yaga. Or there's 3 sisters of Baba Yaga. Or there's 3 ages. And it ties into so many different myths and legends and stories. So it's kind of got my interest. Now, these are very small. And I've not painted something this small for years. I used to paint Warhammer, Space Marines, and I had a mass of them. Obviously got rid of them over the years, so I can't show, but I was able to do it, but I haven't painted something this small for a very long time. So today I'm going to attempt to and see how we go. When I did the intro back in November, I also sprayed them, so they've been sat here, primed, ready to go, and we're going to give it a go. Okay, so we're starting with this one, which is the third one. If you know me and you've watched any video at all, you'll know I don't like the colour green. So I'm going to try and do this without much, if any, green. We're starting doing the getting dressed method, i.e. painting her skin, going from there up. It is very, very small, and I'm going to need a much smaller brush than this. I was going to need my glasses on, I would have thought. Glasses. Don't really paint with glasses on. Oh god, I can see. Weird. That is very definitely viney. I think it's going to be something poisonous and red and brown and woody. As you can see, my hand shakes like crazy. It's not great for painting ridiculously tiny models. So we have the 3 stages of Baba Yaga. When I started to make the hut, I read up on the origins of Baba Yaga. I mean, I knew a little bit. I knew that the Witch of the Waste in Spirited Away is based on her, and Howl's Moving Castle is based on her hut, which sits on a pair of chicken eggs. And I knew that she was supposedly one of 3 triplets. What I discovered, however, was a lot more. It seems that Baba Yaga is everywhere. Original stories of her existence start way back in northern India in the Middle Ages, where a mystic woman was known to the Hindi yogis as being helpful and kind and able to treat the sick. Then she's well known in northern Russia, and many fairy tales tell of Baba Yaga, whether she's the strong, dependable fighter who befriends heroes, or the evil old crone who kidnaps children and takes them to her underground lair. She bestows gifts and magic on heroes and fights the baddies. I'm going with dead flesh for the main bulk of this. I think we're going to build up on this. I've stuck this one to a bottle lid just because I couldn't actually find the 3rd base. I think she's going to hold a red vine in all of them. The staff / vine is going to be red. She's got trousers on. She's a little bit more armoured, this one. She's known in Poland and Slovenia and the Czech Republic and Macedonia and Albania and all of these places, where she's often described as being an evil outcast, riding in a mortar and holding a pestle, and living at the edge of town and the forest and calling the dead to her at night. In Italy, she is known as La Befana. On the night before Epiphany, she visits the children and decides whether they are good or bad, and parents threaten to tell La Befana of a naughty child. She's known in Norse legend as a seer, a soothsayer, and a witch. And Baba is one of 3 sisters, or triplets. Or she's just a woman that is aged over time. Because she's known to have been a true beauty who wore a patchwork dress, had thick hair, but then became a reclusive maid living in the woods, but helped people, especially Russians, for some reason, with remedies and cures, spells and advice. Then she became an old crone, a bit more haggard, a bit more spiteful, and takes to stealing children, to eating pies and using their bones to make a fence around her property. But if she was 3 sisters who could turn a man to stone by looking at them, well then they would be the Gorgons of Greek mythology. Or are they the weird sisters who share one eye and can see the future? Or the sisters of time, dealing out every man's lifeline and cutting it long or short? Or maybe they're just hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Whether she or they are, it's agreed that she did live in a hut in the forest, and the hut walked on a pair of chicken legs. But that may have been because the hut was raised up off the ground on posts to avoid flooding and animal attacks. The posts or tree trunks were thick and would be covered in leaves and reindeer hides, known as yag. People seeking remedies of Baba Yaga were often delirious or taken by the effects of the remedies of sickness. So a pair of thick fur-covered legs instead of stumps is easily mistaken. So from this I drew 3 versions of Baba Yaga: a beautiful young woman, a middle-aged maid, and an old crone. The thing is that for all of these game colour and all that, they are basically just various degrees of washed out sienna. And you see people go, oh, this colour's amazing. It's just watered down raw sienna and burnt sienna. I bought it thinking, oh, this is what you need. You have to have the Games Workshop or whatever it's called, paints, and yeah, no. Just buy a pot of acrylic raw sienna and burnt sienna. You'll end up with years worth of supplies if this is how much paint you're using. Right, see, that is not a great colour. Of course, this is the first one of these I've ever done. Well, not ever done. I've painted Space Marines, but you know, should I do more? You want to give helpful criticism or helpful tips, not criticism, helpful tips, then please do. If you want to sit there and say this is rubbish and I don't have any ability, I've already established that. I'm asking you to help, give suggestions and ideas and how to improve. That's what this channel's all about, really. Me learning stuff, not necessarily doing it well first time, always. Of course, now we're getting from my window, because I've got a rainbow thing on the window. If I have no light whatsoever, and it's pitch black in here, I will suddenly get this sunlight and then the window treatment, which is lovely the rest of the time, causing havoc and painting weird contrasty lines and painting weird colours. I'm painting in sort of greenish lights now. I'm painting in false colours. I'm not a fan of such small figures. I do prefer them to be a little bit bigger. See, now I've just painted her arm. Her arm's not. If I broke it then, that is definitely red. It's got some chocolate brown actual colour rather than some sort of wash. Okay, try and paint this stick in. That isn't bright. Only painting downwards so that I leave the darkness underneath. And so here we are, with 3 statues and 3 drawings, and a rather large hut, and many, many more stories still to tell. What do you know of Baba Yaga? Is there any stories that you like, or any tales you have, or anything that you've ever known that I haven't found out yet? If you do, tell me in the comments below. There we go. 3 statues of Baba Yaga as she falls over. There we go. Not bad. Better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know how you're meant to paint the faces in, but yeah, I'm sure there are people out there just doing this is terrible. I'm sorry. First miniatures of this size I've painted in like 20 years, and I don't think I went into so much detail when I painted Space Marines. How you paint faces, I don't know. Mario tabletop time sort of level of skill. If you're of that sort of level of skill, tell me how the hell you meant to paint it with a hand that shakes. I hope you liked this. I hope this was fun, entertaining. You liked the stories and the drawings, and if it was good, then please do give it a thumbs up, bubba up. Leave comments below, and if you're not already and you want to see more, there might be another Baba Yaga visit, because I now think that enormous house up there is way too big for somebody this size. So maybe at some point there'll be a little Baba Yaga house. Who knows? Only you will if you come back next time and see what else we're making. Bye. As per usual, just start recording, the phone goes. You know, sometimes you just think, yeah, this is not going to be the day to do stuff. I need to start doing it. And the model falls on the floor into the mud and dirt. I'm still going to have to get my fingers dirty.